My friend Mike called me at 2 a.m. last Thursday. His voice was shaking. Said he'd been driving for 6 hours and couldn't find his way home. He left work at 11 p.m. like always, got on the highway heading south, same route he'd taken every night for 3 years. But something went wrong. The roads kept changing. His GPS kept resetting. And when he finally made it home, nothing was the same. His house was different. His wife didn't recognize him. He was in the right place, but the wrong timeline. And he has no idea how to get back. Mike works late shift at a distribution center about 40 minutes from his house. Easy drive. Highway 52 South, exit at Oakwood, left on Maple, straight to his neighborhood. He could do it with his eyes closed. That night started normal. He clocked out at 11:03, got in his car, pulled onto Highway 52. Traffic was light, just a few semis and late-night commuters. He had music playing, windows down, normal Thursday night. About 10 minutes into the drive, he noticed the exit signs were wrong. Not majorly wrong, just off. Exit 47 should have been for Riverside Road. But the sign said Morrison Avenue. He'd never heard of Morrison Avenue. He figured maybe he'd misremembered. It had been a long shift. He was tired. But then exit 46 was wrong too, and 45. Every sign was for roads and towns he didn't recognize. He checked his GPS. It showed him on Highway 52, right where he should be. But the exits on the GPS didn't match what he was seeing on the road. He kept driving, thinking maybe he'd just gotten confused, maybe there'd been construction and they'd changed some signs. But the highway looked the same. Same lanes, same lighting, same guardrails. After 20 minutes, he should have been at his exit. Oakwood, exit 34. But when he got there, the sign said something different. Clearbrook, not Oakwood. There was no exit 34 labeled Oakwood. Mike pulled over on the shoulder, completely confused now. He opened his Maps app, searched for his home address. It found it. Same address, same street. But the route was different. Instead of showing the familiar path, it was directing him through roads he'd never heard of. He sat there trying to figure out what was happening. The GPS kept recalculating, the blue dot on the map jumping around like it couldn't figure out where he was. He decided to keep following the GPS directions, even though they made no sense. It told him to take the next exit, Clearbrook, which shouldn't exist. He took it. The ramp led to a road that looked familiar, but wrong. Same general area, same type of landscape, but details were different. A gas station that should have been on the left was on the right. A billboard he passed every day advertising a local restaurant was advertising something else, a business he'd never heard of. He kept driving, following the GPS voice, taking turns through streets that felt like home but weren't quite right. That's when things started glitching. He'd drive past the same intersection twice, not similar intersections, the exact same one. Same street signs, same traffic light, same houses. He'd recognize it, think, I just passed this, and look in his rearview mirror. But the road behind him was different than the one he'd just driven. It was like the world was copy-pasting sections of road, rearranging them, making him drive in loops without actually looping. His GPS kept saying, "You have arrived," but he wasn't at his house. He was at random spots, parking lots, dead ends, places that had nothing to do with where he lived. He tried calling his wife. No answer. Tried again. Voicemail. He left a message saying he was having trouble getting home, something was wrong with the roads. He'd be there as soon as he could figure it out. He kept driving. The roads kept changing. He'd be on a 4-lane highway, and then suddenly it was 2 lanes. Streetlights would appear and disappear. He passed the same 24-hour diner 3 times, but each time it looked slightly different. First time the neon sign was red, second time it was blue, third time the whole building was a different color. Mike pulled over again, this time genuinely scared. He'd been driving for over an hour and had no idea where he was. The GPS still insisted he was near his house, but nothing looked right. He got out of the car, looked around. He was on a residential street, quiet, houses dark. It looked like his neighborhood. Similar houses, similar layout. He walked to the corner to check the street sign. Maple Street. His street. This was his neighborhood. Relief flooded through him. He'd somehow made it. He got back in his car, drove slowly, looking for his house. There it was. Same number, same mailbox, same tree in the front yard. He pulled into the driveway. But the house was different. The color was wrong. His house was gray. This one was beige. The front porch had different railings. The windows were a different style. He sat in his car staring at it, trying to understand. Same address, same lot, but a different house. He checked the mailbox. His name wasn't on it. Different name entirely. He walked up to the front door anyway, knocked. No answer. He knocked again. A light came on inside. The door opened. A woman he'd never seen before stood there in a bathrobe, looking annoyed and scared. "Can I help you?" she asked. Mike stammered, trying to explain. Said this was his house. He lived here. His wife should be here. The woman looked at him like he was insane. Said she'd lived here for 8 years, didn't know anyone by his or his wife's name, and if he didn't leave, she was calling the police. Mike backed away, apologizing, went back to his car. He pulled out his phone, searched his own name, found himself on social media. But it was wrong. His profile said he lived in a different state. His job was different. His profile picture showed him with people he'd never met. He scrolled through posts from his account, all recent, all from a life he'd never lived. He tried calling his wife again. This time someone answered. A man's voice, asked who was calling. Mike said he was looking for his wife, gave her name. Long pause. Then the man said, "I don't know who you are, but you need to stop calling this number. There's no one here by that name." Click. Disconnected. Mike checked his contacts. His wife's number was still saved. But apparently she didn't exist in this version of reality. Or he didn't exist in hers. He wasn't sure which. He drove to his workplace. Maybe if he could get back there, retrace his exact route, he could undo whatever happened. The distribution center was still there, same location. But the company name was different. The logo on the building was different. He went to the security guard at the gate, explained he worked there, needed to get in. The guard checked his computer, said there was no one by Mike's name employed there. Had he worked for the previous company? Mike said he'd been there for 3 years. The guard looked confused, said the current company had owned the building for 5 years. Previous company went bankrupt in 2019. Mike spent the rest of the night driving around, checking places he knew. His parents' house had different people living in it. His favorite restaurant didn't exist. The building was a bank instead. His gym was a storage facility. Everything was similar but wrong, like someone had taken his reality and shifted it slightly left. Same city, same streets, but a different version. A timeline where he'd made different choices, or never existed, or existed differently. He couldn't tell. As the sun came up, Mike pulled over in a parking lot, exhausted and terrified. He'd been driving for 6 hours and ended up in a world that looked like home but wasn't. That's when he called me. I didn't know what to tell him. Told him to come to my place. We'd figure it out. He put in my address on his GPS. It showed a route, but to a different part of town than where I actually live. He followed it anyway. Ended up at an apartment complex he'd never seen. My name wasn't on any mailbox. He tried calling me. I answered, asked where he was. He described the area. I told him that wasn't where I lived. He said his GPS brought him there, swore it was the right address. But it wasn't. We stayed on the phone while he drove. I directed him to my actual place, giving him turn-by-turn directions, ignoring what his GPS said. It took 40 minutes, but he made it. When I saw him, he looked terrible. Hadn't slept, on the verge of panic. He showed me everything. His phone with the wrong social media profiles. His GPS showing familiar places with wrong names. Photos on his phone that were different than he remembered. In one picture, his wedding photo, his wife's face was slightly different. Same person, but not quite. Like a variation. We've been trying to figure out what happened. Best theory is he hit some kind of reality glitch while driving. Took a wrong turn, not physically, but dimensionally. Slipped into a parallel timeline that's close to his original one, but not identical. He's been here for 4 days now. Can't find his way back. Every time he tries to drive home, he ends up in that wrong version of his neighborhood with the beige house. His wife doesn't exist in this timeline. His job doesn't exist. He's stuck in a reality that's almost his, but isn't. The scary part is his memory. He's starting to forget the original timeline. Details are getting fuzzy. He showed me a photo yesterday, his real wedding photo that he'd shown me before. But now it looked like the altered version. Like this timeline is overwriting his memories, making him fit here. Soon he might not remember the original version at all. Might think this has always been his reality. And maybe that's mercy. Maybe forgetting is easier than knowing you're in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong life, with no way back. Mike took a wrong turn, ended up in the wrong timeline, and the roads won't let him go home, because home doesn't exist here. Maybe it never did.